ready? Okay, I want you to be good this time. I want you to be good. No, he's done podcasts before.
You don't have to take that.
No, he does.
You don't have to take that.
I'm sorry he doesn't have clothes on. I'm sorry about that.
Please, listen, it's fine.
Do you know what? See, when he sits down like that, you know what that is?
What's going?
That's your future.
Yeah. Hey, honestly, I could do worse.
I try to say that to myself sometimes. It doesn't work right. So you've seen this podcast before, so you know what happens.
I saw a few minutes of the Alfred Molina one.
Oh, a few minute ones?
Yeah.
A few of the minutes.
A few of the first few minutes of the Alfred Molina one.
All right.
So maybe I haven't seen everything.
Seen the whole podcast. That's good. That's a good thing.
Is that good?
That's a great thing.
Uh-oh.
Right. What happens is, right, because I've got a timer. Right.
Yeah.
And
I remember this.
You know
this
bit?
I saw, yeah.
Yeah, you saw that bit. I have the timer because 20 minutes till pick up. The podcast, not that you'll be seeing this, but the podcast would be called 20 minutes till pick up. That's what I should say here. And that's because the reason I did this was because I found my best conversations happened 20 minutes before I had to go pick up my kids.
Right.
So that's
your kids are here.
I know, but that's a premise. You know, I know that you know about this because you do all that stuff, but you've got to have is it a hook?
Gotta have a hook.
You've got to have a hook, so that's what my hook is.
Okay.
Right, okay.
Gotta have a gimmick.
So I set the timer, and then that's what happens, and then it beeps, and then we have to stop talking.
Okay, and then you gotta run out the door.
That's it. Well, I
Just
don't,
drop the
because
kids off somewhere.
No, it's a school holidays, but you've got to have a hook. You've got to have a hook. Right.
All right.
So you know what? You're responsible for this.
What do you mean?
You're responsible for
I don't
this.
get it.
You are.
Well, how?
Well, because I did your podcast,
Yeah.
right? And then I was like, God, he's a nice guy.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
I was like, he's a nice guy. So
right,
I'm like,
thanks.
I want to do a podcast. And then I came back and I said to Mark, I was like, can I do a podcast? And he went, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then he went, but I'm never going to wear clothes. And I was like, oh, okay.
That's...
But it works.
Should be any
It
different
works.
than an average day.
Okay.
I mean, honestly, okay, you should. I mean, everyone should have a podcast.
Yeah, do you
know what I mean? Yeah. In this day, why not? It's free.
Well, no. Not everyone should have a podcast.
Not everyone, but there's no reason for everyone.
Not everyone. See, if your major conversation is made up of what dreams you have.
Oh yeah, no.
That's not
okay.
not a thing.
No.
There are some people, and I think it's fair to say that everybody knows somebody who shouldn't have a podcast.
For sure. Yeah, and there are a lot of podcasts that shouldn't exist. I'm just saying, if you're talented, which you are, and if you're funny, which you are, then you should. You should just do it.
But
if
I
you're
get it from you. I get it
you
from
don't
you.
get it from me.
I get it from you.
We met twice.
Right,
You
okay.
get it.
Well, I get it from you. It rubbed
Please.
off. Listen, how do you want me to introduce you?
However you like, really.
No.
Here's the thing,
Right,
though. This is the problem.
Right, okay, what's the problem?
The problem is I do a lot of different things.
Right.
So like sometimes I do those like talking heads kind of shows where like I love the 80s or whatever, where it's like you make a little joke about something that happened or whatever, and they give your name, and then like there's a thing underneath that says what you are.
Yeah.
So there was a little game that because I've done a ton of them, and like the game that I was playing with myself was like, I'm gonna make my job description different like every time I go in, like writer comic or comedian actor or whatever, blah blah blah, whatever combination of things. And then just recently I was like, that's a huge problem. Like that's why I'm not working more, is that I can't, like I don't have like a 3-word thing for what it is that I do. You know what I mean?
You know what mine is?
What?
Writer, performer, general ditherer.
Okay, I like that.
Right, yeah,
I like
because, or I call myself show business mongrel.
Okay.
Yeah, because, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you are like, because you've got a book coming out. I know you've got a book. Are we allowed to talk about the book?
We are.
Can I introduce that? Is it
Absolutely.
is it a novel? Is it a novel?
It's a memoir.
It's a memoir. Oh, it's a memoir.
It's a memoir, yeah.
So how do you say that? Do you say memoir writing? Book
No,
writing?
just writer.
All right.
Yeah, just say I'm writing.
Writer, performer, general ditherer.
Yeah, bon vivant.
Bon vivant.
I used that for a
Show
while. Man
business
about
mongrel.
town. Yeah.
All right. Right, you ready? Now, the other thing about this is that we've only got one camera.
Right.
And so we have to be in a 2-shot.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But the only way that it will work is that for the style of it, and this podcast is all about style.
Sure.
For the style of it, you have to pretend you're not in the shot.
I see. Okay.
Right? Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You've done acting.
Okay,
really?
sure, yeah, so I
Okay,
can just
you know,
relax.
Yeah, relax.
As though I'm just off camera.
Yeah, but don't pull attention.
I see.
You know, have you ever
Because
done
this is your show.
This is, well, no. You're my co-host. But for the big introduction, what you want is that, like, I'll say, oh, it's me, and they'll go, oh, it's her again.
Right.
And then I say that, I've got a co-host, and then they're like, they're optimism brightens, and then I'll say it's you, and then they'll go, oh, great, we'll watch then, right?
I don't know if that will be the reaction, but okay.
No, so that's it.
I follow the time.
But for that to work, you have to know, pull the attention.
Okay.
So move your arm over.
Oh, sorry about that.
Okay, you're only in
Okay, so I'm like the band leader, but you just never cut to me. And
no,
I'm not leading a band.
What do you mean the band?
Well, like all American talk shows now have like the band leader.
Oh, the band
who, like,
leader.
who's, occasionally like, does a big belly laugh or like, yeah. But so I would do that, except that I'm not in charge of a band and I'm never on camera.
Don't you think that must be the worst job in the world?
No, I think that'd be kind of fun. I do wonder why the Roots did it. Because it seems like the Roots were having like a moment, and and it seems like they can't tour now, right?
Okay.
So for them, I don't quite get it. Reggie Watts, it makes sense that Reggie Watts would do it, right?
Yeah.
I can't stand American talk shows.
Oh, you can't?
No,
why?
I really can't. Because we're in a moment now where it's like, you have to create a moment that people will want to watch the next morning on the internet.
We could do that.
We could.
Should we do that?
We should do that.
Like I said, though, technically we're on the internet, so
yeah.
Really.
But it's like you can't when I was growing up, you dreamed of like going and talking to Johnny Carson. Yeah. Now it's like you go and you spit cookies on Jimmy Fallon or whatever. You play beer pong or something.
Although I like Jimmy Fallon. I
find him very charming. I like him. He's a good person and whatever. But it's just this moment, like everyone is rushing to create like a thing that's like that people are going to talk about the next day. Or
don't you think that TV does that generally? Don't you think?
They always did.
What about Jon Stewart though? I mean, I know he's leaving and all that.
Uh-huh.
But one of the things that he does that's really good is when he gets a really interesting person, it's the long form that makes it to the internet.
Yeah.
Rather than the short clip that makes it, it's the long bit.
Right.
It's the in-depth interview with Obama or whatever.
Right. Okay. But that's with President Obama. You don't want to like. I don't care. Like if Jimmy Fallon and Jessica Alba have 5 more minutes of things to say to each other, I don't care. I don't care. And also, nobody cares.
Well, maybe it's that thing of the category of people who shouldn't do podcasts. Or, I feel slightly worried about that because I know that there'll be comments on this going, Lynn, you're somebody who shouldn't do a podcast. I know, but I get lonely. I get lonely.
But you can't let commenters determine what you do or don't do.
Have you ever had any nasty comments?
Oh, Lynn.
Have you? No way.
Oh,
Dave
my
Holmes, I
God.
No way.
Yes, of course. Well, first of all, the internet runs on death threats and nasty comments and all that kind of shit. So yes, I've gotten tons and tons. First of all, I started at MTV in 1998. Right. I was a VJ at MTV for a few years, and that was like the dawn of the time when you could like go online and make nasty comments.
Yeah.
Like we had I don't even know if we had a web, like MTV.com, I think was like an area on AOL. Yeah. And there was a message board and you could, whatever. And so like the first few times that I heard from like the public or whatever, it was like nasty 14-year-old girls who were like, oh, I hate him, he's fat. And like, it sucks having to watch somebody who's fat. I remember that was a comment that somebody made about me, which I was like, I'm sure it does suck, but you don't have to watch me. No. There are all kinds of other things you could do. And yeah, so that was terrible. So like I was like evaluated by probably grounded 14-year-old girls who were just like angry on their dad's computer because they couldn't go and see their friends. And so it went downhill from there. Also, I've had a few instances where I've posted something or written something, and I'm not crazy liberal, but I guess I'm
I'm liberal too.
Okay.
I am, but not with a capital L.
Yeah.
I-B.
Yeah, I think I think an actual real liberal would think that I'm a conservative, but like I'm not conservative.
Yeah.
And so I've written a couple of things that indicated that I wasn't conservative, and in a couple of cases, like a talk show host or like a popular right-wing website or whatever will pick it up and like get their sort of flying monkeys on me. So I've had a couple of experiences in the last year where just for one day, like there was a swirl of really angry comments from very conservative people on Twitter. Yeah, talking like, and it's always like libtard or whatever. The thing always has to end in tard, or it has like they have to or like has been blah 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 or whatever. And it's like it's and then like after a day, and we see everyone like this. It goes the same for everybody. Like you get furious at somebody for 24 hours. The lion guy got it last week.
Well, I'm thinking, should he have been called leotard?
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Leotard.
Yeah.
No,
absolutely.
That messes up with dancers, doesn't it?
It does a little bit, but that's such a great word. It's such a great word. It's like I've been waiting for it to turn into an insult.
I don't like that word, the tard.
I don't either.
I don't like the word tard. I think we should just not use it.
It's terrible. But if you're going to, that's a good way to go with it. That's a good way to go with it.
Turd is a better word.
Turd. Yeah.
Leo Turd?
Yeah.
Leo Turd.
So what's the worst thing that's happened then?
The worst thing's happened?
The day you got a day like the lion guy. I mean, the lion guy, I think that's more than just a day.
Yeah, he's
I think the
But I
lion
think it's
guy-
almost already over.
I don't know that because
He might have some
Zimbabwe
legal
are
trouble.
waiting for him.
The
And
what?
also, Zimbabwe
Oh, right,
are
right.
they
Yeah,
like
legally
they
he'll
want
have
him-
problems.
Yeah.
But I think the angry internet people thing is
Yeah,
over.
yeah.
People showed up at his door and
Yeah.
and put signs, you're going to hell and whatever on his door. Which I mean, let the law take care of it,
Yeah.
right? Like your sign on poster board.
Although you can say angry. Like I did, I think I might have given him a Yelp review.
I think there's a point though that I've forced the law to do something about it. Because I think some of these people get away with this stuff,
Right.
and it's only because of this fuss that something gets done.
Yeah.
Because then it's so embarrassing.
It's like, because
Yeah.
I do love anonymous. I'm not anonymous,
Mm-hmm.
but and if I was anonymous, see, you can't tell.
What if you're anonymous?
I know, right? Because you couldn't tell. Because if I
What
was
if you're
anonymous, I
anonymous?
secretly,
You'd be wearing a mask,
no,
for goodness
I
sake.
just,
But I mean, but anonymous is going to be hiding in plain sight, don't you think?
yeah. But I
It'll
love
be
them.
who you least expect. What if Jimmy
I
Fallon is
love-
anonymous?
He might be, or The Roots, or Reggie Watts.
Yeah.
No,
Questlove is anonymous.
I love them. I do. Because
Yeah.
they just completely go, this is wrong, and that's it.
Yeah.
And
Except like you could get caught in their crosshairs.
you could.
know what I mean?
Oh, totally. I nearly one day did.
What happened?
Well, no, it was fine, but it wasn't. It was quite scary. But no, they're lovely. Actually, they were very sweet. But I got a fright because. Do you remember all that thing about Jeremy Clarkson, the Top Gear
Yes.
guy? That
Yeah,
could think,
yeah.
right? And then somebody, I don't know who it was, a unitard or a leotard or something,
Mm-hmm.
had put a thing up saying, just somebody had put a thing up saying, Anonymous are going to attack the BBC
Mm-hmm.
because they want Jeremy Clarkson back. And I was like,
That doesn't seem right.
No, and I like Anonymous, and I was like, don't do that. So I sort of tweeted them, and I went, Anonymous,
Yeah.
you're not going to do the thing, are you?
Yeah.
And then they all just went, and emailed
Really?
me back. Yeah, they're like
They emailed you back?
No, they tweeted me back.
Oh,
They were all
okay.
tweeted. I know if they emailed me, that would be really creepy.
Oh my God.
No, they tweeted me back, and they were
Yeah.
like, no, relax, it's fine, don't worry. Yes, we're here, it's okay. But it was that thing of going, God, they really are watching,
Uh-huh.
and they really are paying attention, and it was from people all over.
Yeah.
You know? But they've just done a whole thing with the Sandra Bland thing where they've hacked into.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you're like, God. And then there's only Anonymous would like completely, declare war on ISIS. They're just like
Right.
completely, no, that's it, we're after you.
Right.
You're like, holy moly.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about because they could essentially become a police force,
They
like
could,
a worldwide
yeah.
police force
Yeah.
that's not answerable to anybody.
Yeah.
And yeah, that freaks me out a little bit.
But they're
Because
so
I don't-
nice though sometimes.
Yeah, I mean,
And they've got this thing of Operation Death Eater. See, you can see I like this stuff.
You're anonymous.
I am. No, I'm not. No, if I would. Anonymous are never going to let me be anonymous because I can never keep a secret.
But that's exactly the kind of thing anonymous would say.
No, they would not.
Yeah, I
Are
think
you
they would.
accusing me of being anonymous?
Well, I mean, it's just as a theory I'm working on
You
right now in
think?
real
Do you
time.
think I could be anonymous?
No.
I'm telling
He knows I couldn't keep a secret about anything at all. But they're doing this thing in Britain where they're pushing for all these paedophiles, all this inquiry to come out. It's like,
Yeah.
you
And,
know?
everybody, it turns out, was a pedophile, right?
Man.
Or has some kind of weird sex creep thing, right? Like it's for some reason Cosby thing obviously
Yeah.
upset me, but just the banality of Jared Fogle being a sex creep.
Yeah, I don't know Gerard Ford.
He's the guy. He's the Subway pitchman.
Oh,
He's a
right.
guy. He's been the spokesperson for Subway sandwiches for 15 years.
Oh my
Because he
God.
lost 100 and something pounds eating Subway sandwiches.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I have no idea how you can do that because it's
Yeah.
just nothing but bread and processed meats and whatever. But he says he did. So he's been the spokesperson for forever. So he had a foundation for health or whatever, childhood obesity or whatever, and the person in charge of that foundation was busted for child porn. And then recently they went to Jared's house, his own house, and apparently they found some porn, and they haven't released what they found, but
Wow.
he's a few emails and texts have dribbled out that he dribbled out was a terrible choice.
It
of
was a
words.
bad choice of words, and I've been,
yeah.
but it's fine.
Sorry about that. But that indicated that he had had sex with a 16-year-old, that he had paid like he found her on the internet and gave her $500 or whatever, and like it's a lot of creepy shit is coming
Do you know,
out.
it's that thing where I go, you know, I'm sure I do things that annoy people, but I don't know why people get the time to like plot all this crap.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Let's
how
like,
do you-
I should just go, you know, take up a hobby. Have you ever
Yeah.
tried jigsaws?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Or you know what? Like, how about regular fucking?
Well,
You know what I mean? How about just regular fucking
I wouldn't say that.
with
He's
your
not getting
spouse?
clothes on. Like,
I know.
you know, clothes on. He's
Sorry,
like,
it's
hello.
Wound up, but I mean, you know, like with your spouse or with an adult, like regular fucking is just fine.
I know, right?
It's just
yes,
fine.
absolutely.
It's a good use of your time.
Right, we should do the podcast.
Oh yeah.
Anyway,
let's start.
so hello. We've been talking for quite a while. So how
good.
would you like me to be introduced? Not me to be
I
introduced.
don't
you to
know.
be
I don't. Writer and TV host. I like presenter. We don't really say presenter.
We
in
don't
the
say
States.
presenter.
We don't say presenter. in the
You know
States. I
what?
don't
That's
always
the
like
one
that.
thing that I couldn't really do. Well, there's many things I can't do. You know, like mountain climbing, hang gliding. You know, parachute jumping.
I bet you
lots
can
of
hang
things.
glide.
No, I couldn't. I have weak arms, upper body strength. No,
Okay.
but
Parachute
presenter.
jumping, you just have to sit there.
Yeah, and not shit yourself.
And
Really,
not shit
not
yourself.
shit yourself. Yeah.
Although you could shit yourself.
I don't know if it would it make for a better landing.
Oh, it would make for a messy landing.
It would
Because you
make
do
for
land
a
on
mess.
your.
You
your
do?
booty,
Have you
yeah.
done that?
I have.
You have? You've
Mhm.
done it? You've done parachute jumping?
I loved it.
Wait, what?
I did it when I was like 29
Yeah.
for the first time. I did it for the first time when I was 29. I didn't do it the first time I was 29.
Right.
That was, again, bad wording.
Well, no.
But I did it. I did it for my boss's birthday when she turned 30, and I like sort of I didn't organize it, but I drove everybody out there.
Boss.
Well, it was great. She was great. And I was like, if you are over like 230 pounds, you can't do it.
Well, you can.
Yeah, because like the first time you do it, you have to be attached to somebody else.
Yeah,
So
okay.
like if you're super heavy, then you could like break the person's back
Yeah.
or whatever when the parachute goes off. And I was like 228 and a half or something.
You were.
I was super heavy for a long time.
No.
Yeah.
Well, you're like a stick now.
I'm not a
really.
stick,
You
but
are
thank
a
you.
stick.
I'm not a stick. But I was like I could bear it. And it was like I went with a ton of my friends and coworkers
Yeah.
and we showed up and I had no idea there was a weight limit and like there was a huge sign. And if you're over 200, then it's like $50 more because they have to add
Wow.
more straps or whatever, or probably like insure you in a different way or whatever. And I was like, I remember stepping on the thing. That was the scariest part, was stepping on the scale and in front of all of my friends, because it was like there was a really good possibility that I would have had to drive my own car with my friends who had just jumped out of the sky 2.5 hours back to LA when I couldn't do it because I was too fat. But I could do it and it was great. And I've done it a few times since then. It's a ball.
How many times have you done it?
I did it one other time.
One other time.
I did it one other time.
Done it a few times.
I
Have
did
you ever
one other
broken
time.
anything?
Never broken a bone.
Never broken a bone?
There you
Not
go.
even just normally? You know? I've
No,
broken,
you?
yeah, both my arms.
Really?
Yeah, I broke one
Same
arm.
time?
No, well, kinda. I broke one arm and then it healed, and then I broke the other one.
Okay.
Yeah.
How?
One of them was in a trampoline at Millport,
Okay.
and I don't know if you've ever been to Millport.
Uh-uh.
You've not even lived. You can
Where
take
is
your
this?
skydiving and shove it where the sun don't shine. You've
Wow.
never
It's
been
violent.
never been to Millport. No.
Where's Millport?
It's it's a town on a beautiful little island called the Isle of Cumbria,
Okay.
which is off the west coast of Scotland. And it's not far away, you know. It's
Mm-hmm.
kind of like a wee bit, maybe an hour away from Glasgow. Do you think, if that?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, and it's great. It's
Yeah.
like, and it's only like 12. I think it's 12 miles around the whole island.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you can cycle around the island.
Lovely.
You can't.
And there's a trampoline.
Well, there was a set of trampolines. Good, well done, because I'd forgotten why I was talking
Uh-huh.
about it. But because I got overexcited.
How could you not?
Yeah.
Trampolines.
So no, I was jumping, and then it was the time when they didn't have, because I was like, I guess maybe I was like 10 or something at the time.
It's about 1940.
Oh,
So it was in black
Very
and white.
very rude.
He is rude.
Very
But they had
naked and
no
rude.
uh,
Nude and
naked
rude.
and rude, yeah, nude and rude. Nude and rude.
That'd be my podcast.
Nude,
Yeah.
rude and crude.
Nude, rude, and
Nude,
Mark.
rude and crude. So they had like, they didn't have any space. Well, no, they didn't have any cover over the springs. And I did a jump and then I fell, my arm went through the
Oh,
springs and that was bad. And
Christ.
then the other one, I was in primary 7, which I guess is what, it's like 5th grade or something here.
Uh-huh.
And I just fell in the playground and broke
Uh-huh.
the other one. So So it was kind
You're an
of
adventurous kid.
It was a time. It
You're
was
an
a
adventurous
time.
kid.
Yeah. So that's only was.
We had a trampoline growing up. When I was growing up, we had a trampoline.
You had your
and there
own
was
trampoline?
Yeah.
What are you, a prince?
I know, right?
What are you, a prince, lord and lady landowner?
We got it from, I don't know, a friend of my mom's had one or whatever, and they were moving and they couldn't use it, and so like they sold it to us for cheap. But it also, like, there were no pads. Like springs just exposed. This was like the late 70s, early 80s when I guess people didn't sue each other.
No,
Well, it was before safety.
It was way,
Was it before safety?
Yeah.
And like
I had
kids,
a motorbike when I was 10.
really,
Yeah.
kids broke their legs regularly in my backyard, and we never had a moment's trouble.
You didn't get. Well, you still got to keep your house and everything.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And like maybe my parents, I don't know if they even like went over with a bottle of wine or anything. Like I don't know if like. If it was just like, oh,
Here, get
tough
drunk.
luck. Sorry. You know what I mean?
Your kid's got a broken leg. Have some beer.
Yeah.
He's got two. What's his problem?
Right.
Well, so, actually, you know what? We've been talking for 20 minutes and I haven't even introduced you.
What?
No, I haven't. So
It's very inefficient.
Just say your name.
I'm Dave Holmes.
Yeah. So that's
Am I
Dave
looking
Holmes.
into the right camera?
What one are you looking at? There's
there
only
are two.
one. No, there's not.
Yeah, there are two
There's
cameras. I'm
not.
looking at two
If
cameras.
you get astigmatism, that happens to me.
Oh, that could be.
Right. Okay.
Oh, is it time to go?
Yeah. That's Dave Holmes. Bye. Oh, so if you want to ask a question, I can't guarantee we'll answer it, but I'll try. You could tweet me a question at Lynn Ferguson, or you can make a comment if you're watching this on the video. And you know what would be awesome? Can you share this? Thanks. All right. Mwah. See you later.